Guys, and welcome to the channel and welcome to another video. At a very rare occasion you'll see this face, I'm afraid, but in all fairness, really didn't know how to start this video off any other way. Just because, we're going to be, it's in response to Mathew at Model Car Videos, question about seeing people's stashes and what have you, and in all fairness, it's something I've put off for a while because, in my house, I do like to have living spaces as living spaces, and I really don't like any of the hobby stuff to sort of fall into them spaces. Sitting room, even though I've sort of shoved a bar in the corner there, and I want a kitchen to be kitchens, I want bedrooms to be bedrooms. But I think it's getting to the time where I think where one of them spare rooms is getting slowly filled with overflow from the collection and some stuff I'm selling. It's going to make sense to probably make more of a hobby room, and I wasn't really going to show the collection until that point comes. But that's going to be another 6 months, a year before I have to do all that upheaval of shifting stuff out of one room, redecorating it, and then sort of remodeling it so it looks quite nice and what have you. But yeah, I mean, I thought with Mathew coming showing his stash and everybody else's, I thought it'd be a good time to have a walk around it. The other reason is that I'm still kind of recovering a little bit. So my bench time is non-existent, and I'm making a point to stay away from the bench as much as I can, just until I'm fully recovered and back up to speed. But I think the way we're going to do this, I think we're going to do it in two videos. The reason being is I have quite a lot of built stuff, and I have quite a lot of unbuilt stuff. I mean, in all fairness, I've probably only got about 300 box kits or something like that in the personal collection, and I've got storage elsewhere where I store quite a bit of other stuff, but that's mainly for eBay. And in all fairness, I haven't really been down there for a good few months anyway, since the cost of living just went through the roof in February, and I think everybody's struggling a little bit. So I've got a lot of money tied up in that stuff, and though I'd love to give every kit away for 15 quid a pop, I'm solely reliant on my income, and paying rent bills and everything, I just can't afford to do that. I'm just selling bits and pieces here and there, and doing other little bits and pieces, doing a bit of buying and selling on a couple of cars and what have you, full size cars, just to keep that money coming in. But yeah, so again, back to it, we're going to probably put it into two sections. Again, I was putting off because the majority of the collection is just down the corridor at the moment. Even though it's kind of in your face once, like saying I do like living spaces, and once I walk past it, I don't have to see it again. And though I do enjoy looking at all this stuff, there's limitations, and I know some of us want to live and breathe the hobby, but if I was to live, and I'm already doing it as a job, so I do need separation from it every now and again, and somewhere nice to sit down and a night away from it all. But so yeah, I think if the lighting's a bit poor down there, all I can do is apologise, but it's kind of what I'm working with right now. But I think there'll be some nice stuff to see. Like I say, the majority of what we'll see today, 99% is pure my collection. There might be a few little bits scattered in there which I'm getting rid of or something, but don't ask if anything's for sale, because that just finds its way out. And I don't want this channel to be kind of linked to that, even though I do find myself speaking about my job, just because that's what I do, for a living. It's linked to this hobby, and sometimes I'll show stuff which I'm just going to sell and move on, and sometimes I don't like. I try and keep as much of that away as possible to the channel. But it's only natural if you living and breathing it, you do bring into videos every now and again. But But yeah, like I say, I think the first video, what we'll do is we'll have a look around the sort of the box stuff and see what I've got there, and then I think because it'll probably end up being a long video, I'll do another video for the builders and what have you. I'm not going to show the workbench. I mean, you can pretty much see most of it behind me, but I think maybe in a couple of weeks' time, what I'll do is I'll maybe show the workbench, how I have everything set up, and maybe show you another few other little bits and pieces, or which sort of like my bar and stuff. If anybody's interested in that, just we'll make another video out of that. But if I start showing around the bench now, this video is already gonna gone for hours and hours and hours. I think with that said, what we'll do is we'll look at the unbuilt stuff, or the stuff which is in boxes anyway, and then I'll film another intro for the next video, and then we'll just carry on from there. But while I got my face on camera, I do want to say I really appreciate everybody's support this year. All the other channels have offered support. All the viewers have offered support, and it means a lot. We're already in 6 months in. I think we just tipped over 600 subscribers, which is good. Obviously I think everybody's benchmark is 1,000, and hopefully we'll get there by end of the year. I'm already right up there with viewing hours and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I've kind of stopped counting subs, but I think that's everybody's goal. It's just like a milestone for everybody. So hopefully we'll get there. But yeah, without further ado, thanks to all the supporters of the channel. I will sign off at the end, and I'll try and get through this as quick as possible but we can't spend too long on each kit, I'm afraid. It'll just be probably a few words of thoughts on why I think of them and why I've got them and stuff like that. So yeah, without further ado, we'll cut to the main corridor where everything's in, and we'll take it from there. Right, I'll see you in a second. Right guys, well you can see what I'm working with now and why I've kind of put it off for quite some time, because this isn't going to be the permanent place for the collection, but it's kind of what I'm happy with at the moment until we get this corridor redecorated and one of the room at the back redecorated, so we can start moving stuff in. But this, like I say, this is where we keep the majority of my personal stuff anyway. There's quite a lot of old stuff, like I say, all down here are just builders and what have you, and we will look at them in another video in detail, so to speak. But I thought we'd try and concentrate on some of the stuff we've got here, and like I say, there's probably only 300 box kits or something, but I looked on my eBay the other day, and I think I've had that account since late 2015, and I've sold 3,600 items, all of the model cars. That's, as you can tell, I'm even though it might be more than some other people have, I'm certainly not a hoarder. I just like to keep the things which I like, and eventually, as it'll happen to all of us, we'll have to decide when we decide to pack it all in one day and start moving it on to other people who enjoy it. But I think that's a good point, that people like us, we do preserve them. Every single one of these kits in here is all bagged up, all the parts separated, sealed up. There's not one kit with a bit of dead sprue in it where all pieces have fallen off. I get rid of that stuff straight away, and I bag everything up. So the lights are in different bags and the axles are in different bags, and so whoever ends up getting these one day, when it's when either it's too late and I can't do anything about it, or I just decide that's gonna be it for me in 20, 30 years time, or whenever that day comes, even if I last that long, which don't feel like that at the moment with my health, but that's what it is. But yeah, we'll just start looking. I think what we'll do is we'll go down this side, and then we'll go and have a look down this side, which is pretty much floor to ceiling. Well, it is literally floor to ceiling kits. Hopefully we'll see something decent which you'll like in there. Like I say, I can't spend too much time on each kit, but you know, we'll have a look. You know, these are mostly 1960s annuals. Got a 1960s Buick. Corvette for that one. I think both of them, in fact, got the 60 Chevy convertible as well. I think all three of them are builders, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I don't really keep builders in boxes much, you know, to be quite fair, but I think all them three, you know, it's difficult to find a mint 1960 kit, you know, which is completely unbuilt, so. But yeah, there's a few nice ones there. Probably my favourite out of the 60s is a 60 Buick and what have you. But, you know, then we got the original 60 DeSoto Adventurer, the 61 Corvair. We've done an unboxing on that one. Again, an original 1963 annual Oldsmobile hardtop. That's got all the nice custom bits in it, and we got a couple of Craftsman series, the 4 Starliner and the 60 Bonneville. I think both of them are pretty much mint in box M1s. Out of all, you know, you do find these every now and again, and they don't go for a great deal of money, to be quite honest with you. But you know, that's just the 65 Mustang we bought the other week, and in all fairness, you know, I've just popped that box up there. Still haven't sorted through them bits, but I've got it written down, but that needs taken off. I've pretty much spent 3 days solid imaging stuff, so I'm pretty much up to date. I've got one little shelf, but yeah, we got a couple of 62 Lincoln Continentals, 63 Imperial, 64 Riviera. You know, that's destined 100% for a channel build one day. I've got quite a nice idea for that one, and already built one of these on the channel. My first ever video was a full length restoration on this one, and yeah, we steered away from them full length ones. It's just too difficult to do, to be quite honest with you, and you know, everybody just gets bored anyway. So, but yeah, then we got the original Avanti and, you know, some 65 Corvettes. You know, like I said, I think I've mentioned it in my other video. You know, the year I'm most heaviest on is 65, and for a long time Corvettes just weren't worth anything, to be quite honest with you, and I think I got them pretty cheap, both pretty much mint in box M1s, convertible and hardtop on those. And you know, the box art round 2 re-release for the Bonneville there, but that's the original, and got some really nice rare hubcaps in the original that they didn't reissue. I think there were more baseline hubcaps, and you know, they got changed to the 8-lug Pontiac 8-lug wheels in later issues and what have you. But you know, another nice one, the 65 Thunderbird. You know, another mint in box kit, and you know, plenty of parts you can swap about onto 66s to make them look a little bit better, to be quite honest with you. But you know, the 65 olds, that's another nice one, complete. I think the only thing that's missing from that is the stock wheel hubcaps, and in all fairness, that's probably the way I wanted to build it. So you know, I'll probably look out for some of them hubcaps at some point. And you know, the original 65 Futura Sprint, before the tooling got changed to the altered wheelbase funny car. I think I've got a couple of them in collection, the altered wheelbase ones, but I've kept that one aside. That's absolutely split mint, is that one, and I thought that'd be a good tow car for one of them, for the altered wheelbase ones. And you know, we've done an unboxing on the 62 Comet, the window box kit, and we've had a brief look at the Hero kit. You know, we will have another look at that one at some point, because we're going to do a channel build on that kit. And you know, we've got a couple of flat box Joannes, promo version, and with the more simplistic chassis, and that one's got the steering on the chassis, which got deleted for later issues. I think when they bought it out in the US oldies, they just used the promo chassis, and we never saw the chassis actually lived on into quite a few later year Cadillacs. The half the tooling went one way and half the tooling went the other way, but yeah, you saw that that chassis being used in quite a few later year 60s Cadillacs, but yeah, moving down a little bit, that's the original 64 Galaxy working lights. I think all that's wrong with that is it's the engine's been slightly glued together, nothing painted or anything, but other than that, it's got all the stuff in it, a lot of custom parts in that, so you can use all the custom parts for the promos and what have you. And then some of my all-time favourite kits, I was talking to Sean about these the other day, I think one of them's mint in box, the other one's started on a little bit and I've stripped the paint off it, but it's all there, so. But yeah, like I say, some of my Holy Grail kits, unfortunately I don't have the El Camino box anymore. One of my first expensive ever kits was a 64 El Camino I bought from Car Kits, and I think I paid 65 quid for it back in 1995, 96 maybe or something, but built the kit, used all the spare parts on another kit, and then had a builder and just needed money, so I put the builder in the box and sold them both together. But another nice one, the 64 Grand Prix, and another kit we only saw 1 year before we lost it forever, so to speak. But the original Surf Woody, I think Round 2 again has re-released that box out, obviously in the slightly wider box and what have you. But now these ones, for some reason I usually hate not having a picture on the end of the box, but there's just something about the 1967 line that, with the colours they used, it was so periodic, it just, and if I could have a full line of them, I would do, but as it stands in boxes, I've only got the Thunderbird, the Barracuda, which was a relatively recent purchase in the last couple of months, I would say, and then you got your 67 Fairlane, I think that was another recent purchase. But then the rarer 65 Hardtop, that's just a builder, is that one, and I think it's pretty rough to be quite honest, but it's got all the spare parts in it, and that's the other Mercury, the one which we used the front end off. In all fairness, that one's still complete because we had a spare front end from the parts box, so I didn't really have to rob too much from that. I ended up robbing the grille, and I think and the headlamps. That was about it. But other than that, we managed to keep that one in a relatively complete. But the kit's built anyway. I've shown the built kit on the channel before. But yeah, nice 63 Thunderbird. They did change the parts between the 61 and the 63 for custom versions, so there's a few different parts between the 61 and the 63 anyway, which are quite nice and what have you. But yeah, then we'll just going on to the 66 Fairlane. Again, that's got another load of nice custom parts in it, and then 66 Corvair Corsa. I think it was second year for this body style, and probably the nicest box, I would have said, one of the nicest boxes. Nice subtle Gene Winfield custom on the side there, and 66 Wildcat, which again, round 2 has re-released that box art, but that's obviously the original. And I got a few of the 6.6 Thunderbirds. I think a couple of them are built, to be quite honest with you, and one's mint in box. But obviously the least expensive, just because it's been churned out quite a lot, I suppose. But then we go on to some of the flat box Joanne kits. I don't have too many, but they are extremely difficult to find over here, and we all know the prices on Joann's at the moment. I mean, not so much UK. I don't really think Joanne really caught on too much in the UK, to be quite fair. I think there weren't enough of them back then to have too many childhood memories for a lot of people. But people like me and quite a lot of the UK viewers I have, all share the same interest for these old ones. But yeah, we've got the Tornado, and that's a lovely kit. Is that? I think that was sharing tooling with AMT at the time and what have you. But an original flat box Chrysler 300. It's pretty much identical to the later issue. I think you get a few extra little parts possibly in this. I think it's got a racing under shield and a few other little bits and pieces, but pretty much 98% of that kit was retooled, was reissued in the late 70s, early 80s. And just a couple of 6.6 Chryslers. Can't even remember if we've done an unboxing on one of them yet. I don't think we have. I think we've shown it in that rarest or oldest kits you had, and I just couldn't decide. Then again, a couple of 6.6 Rambler convertibles and the 6.6 Cadillacs. I think we've done unboxings on them. For some reason, the easiest ones to get in the UK are not the easiest ones, but it always seems to be 65 and 66 if you're getting a flat box. They very rarely come up, to be quite honest. I think somebody's got one of them on eBay at the moment in the UK for 350 quid. I think is a little bit spicy for that kit, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, the 65, we've done an unboxing on that one, and the 65 Fury convertible, I've just done some pressings for the quarter panels for Gary over at Mr. Model Works, Gary Decay. Got a few other bits on sort of piled up from him, which is gonna hopefully get end of week, so to speak, because I'm pretty much ready to send them now. But probably be Friday, Gary, if you're watching. But I'll send them off Friday morning. I was hoping to get them in post today. It ain't gonna happen, I'm afraid. Got too much to do. But yeah, we'll pop them in post Friday for you. And 6.7 Plymouth, we're just done the unboxing on that one. Javelin funny car, and I know that's quite a rare one. But I think it's incomplete. I think it was missing the funny car chassis or something. But I've just found a complete Joanne funny car chassis, which I'll probably put in that. I mean, I saw somebody selling. It was on one of the Facebook pages not so long ago, and the kit was pretty much exactly the same condition, and I think it was a body and some other bits, not far off what this one is, to be quite honest with you. And he put an asking price of, I think it was $250 on it and somebody bought it. I saw in the comments somebody had bought it, and I was thinking that is just absolutely crazy, crazy stuff, to be quite fair. Because I mean that's the difference between the US and the UK. You've even though it's like Mike says, it's kind of close to Newcastle because you've got so much stuff over there, but I think the interest is so much higher with so many more people wanting the kits. That's why the values are quite strong on Joanne compared to the UK. But in fact, considerably strong. You know, whenever I put a Joanne kit on eBay, even though it's quite rare nowadays, 99% of them go overseas, mainly to the US. But yeah, we'd be looking at these Heavenly Hearses. You know, I think all but two are pretty much mint in box. Got all the colours under the rainbow. Got them in the heavenly mauve. I think I've actually got one of the ambulances in the heavenly mauve, and yeah, never built one. Love them, absolutely love them. As you can see, you know, I've got more than you can shake a stick at, and then I'll sell a couple when a bit hard up, and then I find some more, and I just fill the spaces back up. But you know, that's what you do, isn't it? You know, there's nothing we can do about that, I'm afraid. But yeah, I got Milner Dragster. That one is a builder. That's one I've set aside for a channel build, hopefully in the future. You know, as well. You know, I've got the coupe as well. I wanted to see what you could do with the coupe to make it look a bit more realistic, because that NPC kit was just terrible. It was just a repop of the switches kit with a few new tool bits in it and what have you. But yeah, that's a nice kit, is that one. You know, that was on me holy grail list for a long time, and then I've probably bought and sold another 10 since. But you know, I've kept one aside for myself anyway. And the Rebel machine, we bought that the other month. The 68 DeVille, you know, hopefully we'll do an unboxing with that, because I've still got a few more Cadillac bits and pieces to work through for that series I was doing and slowly getting through. But yeah, these are the sort of late 70s, early 80s reissues of the Chrysler 300. Got a couple of built up. I think one of these are mint in box, and I think the other one started on or something. But yeah, and then we got the Joanne promo style Chrysler turbine. Always kept hold of that kit, because even though the other one's a fantastic kit, you know, I just don't think I'll ever have the patience to put one of them together, to be quite honest with you, and do the little bits and pieces that need tweaking on them to make it look right. I think when they're built up, the front wheels generally stick out a bit too far and what have you, and ride height don't look quite right on them. But so you definitely, for me personally, I mean, that it's fine, you know, you see. But I think if I was going to build one myself, I would have to just play around with that front suspension a little bit. But yeah, we've just got a few more Joannes around here, so we'll try and get through them as quick as possible, because like I say, I'm afraid this is going to turn into an hour video. But you know, we want to have a half decent look at the stuff, and you know, we got a couple of 6.2 darts, hardtop and convertible. I think I was after the hardtop for quite a while, and we got a couple of the Fury hardtops. You know, another nice kit. Then we got the convertible as well. It's actually a builder in there, and I've just I think Gary was after one of them for a while, so I'm going to take the builder out of that one, give that to Gary, and I've got a couple more builders I can just pop in that box, because I do like that box for some reason, even though it's absolutely manky. It's the only one I've got at the moment, so you know, that'll stay on there until I find something else a bit tidier. But Marlin as well, and I think it's a holy grail of quite a few people's, to be quite fair, and we've got a few bits and pieces on top. You know, we had a look at that one in one of the unboxing videos, and we are getting a little bit darker down here, so. But yeah, 58 Edsel hardtop, you know, that's a nice one to have, to be honest. And yeah, that's the newer version of the DeSoto, the one which I showed towards the beginning of the video. That's a complete curbside kit, whereas this one's got the opening hood. And you know, all the ones we're all familiar with, to be quite honest here, and the Chryslers and the and the more recent issue with the Starfire, and a couple of these things, you know, these used to be a 10-15 quid kit even when they were a good few years old. Nobody wanted them over here, so this was always the kit you would get cheap. But they're starting to go up in value a little bit over here, and you know, as you can see, I've got a few of the 64 Cadillacs. You know, one of them's the one my dad started years ago, like when we were very young, and I think he almost built it, and then I think what stopped that build is the front axle didn't, it was sitting a bit wonky. I think it just went through the wrong hole, and you know, I've tried in later years on getting that unglued and what have you, and can't do it. And it's a lovely built kit, but you know, I just wanted to sort that one out and never got round to it. Give it up a few times on it, but to get that axle out of there and straightened up. But yeah, 70, I think that's 76, isn't it? And most disappointing Cadillac Joanne bought out, I think. In all fairness, you know, it didn't come with the fender skirts, which would have made a massive difference on the 76, just because it was quite boxy and a bit ugly by then, I thought. And I think they all came with the sunroofs in them, which I didn't like either. But you know, it's still a nice. It's still got some nice custom bits in it, and you know, I'd love to build that one at some point. I think that's just got a really nice rear end on this year, Tornado. And then we got, I think these are just a couple of promos in there and a few more promos up there, and that's just the Playcraft version of the 59 annuals. Like I say, I think they only did the 59 Lincoln and the 59 Invicta, Buick Invicta convertible in for the Playcraft ones, but obviously these are some of my favourite kits. You know, again, never built one of the Eldorados, but I really must do. You know, they're such a pretty kit when they're built stock, and then I've got plenty to mess around with for custom. But yeah, as you can see, the 63 Plymouth, how many I've got? You know, I've got 8 here, to be quite honest. You know, and that's just from memories of being a kid. My dad had. This is another one my dad had. I think I've still got that one as well, which it started. But yeah, it was just one I absolutely loved. I remember John Rackham, a big name on the model car scene in the 80s and 90s. You know, he built a really nice Pro Street one, and loved that kit. I have actually built a couple of them. Yeah, I built one in probably the last 5 years, but used the wrong filler on it. Did a lovely custom job on it, and then no more than a month later, you know, all filler started sinking on the hood and what have you. So I'm gonna have to do that again. But yeah, another one, obviously. Got quite a few of. Another one from my childhood, or my dad having as a when I was a kid, like. So that's obviously rubbed off, and you know, it's just such a. Again, you know, I've just done that video, and you know my thoughts on that. You know, it's fantastic kit. I think. Again, I got these in all different colours and what have you, and I think one's sealed on that one. I don't generally keep kits sealed. I really must unseal that one and check inside it. But at the moment, I've just got enough of them anyway, and you know, once I unseal it, I'll have to image it and bag it up, and I think it's just that process I'm putting off. So, but yeah, we've got the wagons as well. You know, another nice old kit. I think 2 of these are ones with little problems, which have stopped me selling them in the past and what have you. And then I think I've got a couple of nice unbuilt ones and what have you, and yeah, one of the funny cars. I always like that funny car, to be quite honest with you, the Challenger funny car, and that's got a really nice flat hood on it. You can you can use on NPC kits if you did a cut it out and cast a hood. But you know, people who know me, you know, I like the old Gone in 6 Seconds movie, and I've got a ton of the 73 Mustangs to do in all sort of different stages throughout that movie. But I was kind of watched HPI's video and saw that Mach 1 coming out, and I'm kind of hoping that they actually tool a flat hood, because I think that's what we're missing out of the 70s Mustangs. The 71, 73 Mustang is a flat hood. You know, it's about time somebody tooled one of them up, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I think that's my only comment left. Like I said, I try and keep one. You know, there's obviously a load of Joanne kits I ain't got here, but you know, I've had a lot of them and sold a lot of them. But you know, these are ones I've kept hold of, to be quite fair. So we've got a couple of the Super Bears, the Petty and the Sox and Martin, and the old Torino again. I think that's possibly another which shared its tooling with AMT. And a couple of the 69 Roadrunners, you know, so a much more superior body to the later 90s AMT tool, but and a Pinto and other bits and pieces. You know, I always like that showcase box art, to be quite fair. Little 1/32 Jag, and just a ton of Petty Plymouths. You know, that's probably the second most affordable Joanne kit in the UK. I think shortly followed by the Sox and Martin Cudas. You know, they don't seem to fetch a lot, but you know, I think we'll just what we'll do is we'll just, yeah. So as I was saying before I cut the camera off on myself, as I was just going to say, we're going to turn around, look at the other side, and I think there's a lot of newer stuff on this side. You know, just some of the kits of the 90s. You know, this was really when I was, you know, I'd got my paper round, and I think this box out was kind of around, I think I lied about my age. I was supposed to be 13 to get the paper round, and I think I was 10 or 11. So I could start making a few pennies to pay for this stuff and what have you. But you know, I think that we've all kind of seen these. You know, it's just your 90s stuff, and again, we're right in a dark corner here at the moment, so it's difficult to see. But you know, I mainly buy them just for the bodies, to be quite honest with you. I think both of them are builders, to be quite fair, and I just buy the bodies just for, like I say, I buy them for the bodies to eventually do conversions into 4-doors. Same with the Roadrunners and what have you. You know, that's why I've got a few of them. Don't think I'll ever build one stock. You know, I've already got a couple built stock, and no need to do that anymore. So, but yeah, just some old kind of run-of-the-mill 90s stuff, you know. Yeah, I was thinking of using some of them old annual pieces on some of these to make them look like the old annual customs or the drags, and just do away with all the fancy chassis, which really I don't like getting involved in too much, you know. But yeah, the Cougars and, you know, the Cobras are always a favourite of mine. I had one of them when I was, you know, 10 or 11. I think the wheel arches ended up getting hogged out of them, and these were really some of the first signs of AMT doing new tools. You know, these were brand new for the 90s, and you know, I think I've got this one and this one pretty much almost built. I think all I need to do with them is put the decals on and build the engines, and they're done. They're all foiled, ready to go. I just don't know when I'll get round to finishing them off. Like, so we'll probably work them in at some point just to get them built and out of the box and finished off and what have you. But yeah, I don't think there's much here, but people don't see it in your swap meets over there for $10 or $15 and what have you. But you know, all pretty much run of the mill. But you know, we've got some more interesting stuff a little bit further down and what have you. And I think up here we just got the Piranha double kit, so to speak, and just another one of the later issues, one of the last issues that Joanne bought out, along with the Maverick and what have you, and or Comet, whichever one it was. An old Parma kit, you know. That's when they started, did a few with full bodies, you know. They got away from that toyish multi-piece, way out of scale sort of tooling they were doing, but I think by the time stuff like that came out, it's just too late. I think they only did another couple of years before they went bust there. Yeah, just a couple of old Revel kits. Really like the box art on these ones. Yeah, really nice box art on them. I think that's pretty much a complete. That well, it is a complete kit. I think it's moulded in blue, that one. Yeah, just more run-of-the-mill kind of Revel stuff, and bought that one to make into a 4-door as well. You know, I was going to do that as a security car, which was chasing the tow truck, the wrecker in the Gone in 6 Seconds movie, and got a ton of these things. You know, I think that one was started or something, hence why it's still here. Otherwise, I would have just sold it a long time ago, to be quite fair. But you know, very cheap kit's fine, but you know, it's just basically a retool of the original promo, and had a couple of them when I was right young, and I've just kept hold of one. Fleet side as well. Everybody's seen these kind of things, and now you're going to see the extent of my monogram collection, which is absolutely nothing. You know, I got a few NASCARs. You know, probably my favourite NASCAR, or stock car, which I do want to build, just because I think my brother had one when we were younger, and you know, I think he'd built it without painting it, and then it just got broken, so we don't know what happened to that kit. But yeah, Dom, if you're looking for one of them, I got plenty of them. But then I had a Hardy's one, and I've just got a few others, to be quite honest, of stock cars. You know, I've sold most of them. I had about 150 stock cars, and I just sold so many over the last sort of year, just to get rid of them. But I've kept a few back. You know, I got duplicates, you know, which I've listed a few duplicates for sale and what have you, but that's one I definitely want to build, to be quite honest with you. I always remember we had a VHS video, Decade of Thrills, and it showed Bob Glidden when he took one of them down track and rolled it towards the end. And I mean, I'll build it undamaged, obviously, but you know, that just another one which brings you back to my childhood, just because of that video more than anything else. And then a couple of these Firebirds I do want to build. I do like the old Pro stocks and what have you, and the monogram rocking rods thing, another one from my childhood. You know, really bad proportion body was that one, but you know, I've just kept it for sentimental reasons, and the same with this one. I did kind of like this box art, just reminded me of the olden days, so to speak. But and then the little coffin, I think that's the only one I've got left now. But I've kept that one just because that's the same box as my dad had. I think he built his straight out of the box, unpainted. Comes in a really nice red plastic, and it does make you can get away with building that one without paint. But yeah, it's another almost stock car, and you know, what's the collection without a monogram 66 Malibu? But yeah, a couple of the show cars, the Orange Hauler, the Predictor, the RGBs, which I'm probably just going to get shot of, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, the terribly proportioned monogram Camaro, but had some great bits in it. I think a lot of people bought them just for the bits and what have you, and the old 44 coupe, and that is pretty much it for me box monogram stuff. I've got a few bits scattered here and there, like, which you'll probably see a little bit later on, but you know, all the Revel multi-piece ones which we bought as a kid and never had the guts to build, like, because they were so advanced. And the one I've had for quite some time, I think I bought that at York Raceway, the drag strip in Melbourne, just outside of York. You know, I think I paid 15 quid for that back in the 90s or something, early 90s. And then yeah, just a couple of bit more Revel stuff. I think that's pretty much it for your monogram and Revel. As you'll see, I'm more focused on AMC, MPC, Joanne, that kind of thing. But just another couple of old MPC stock cars. You know, that's reason why I've kept them is, again, just my dad had a couple of them when we were younger, so held on to them ones, and I think that's, I don't think they did too many more, to be quite honest, and they weren't very accurate, to be quite fair. I think they were still just reusing that chassis they've been using since the early 70s or mid 70s on them. But yeah, and just a couple of the flip nose, different boxes for the flip nose vets, and the Chevy, and one of the most hated kits of all time. And you know, it really annoys me that people don't really understand that kit. But you know, it's we'll have a video on that separately. I've just held off that video for a while, and that was the one which I had as a kid, and that's the original one which I've had since I was 6 or 7 years old or something. And my dad actually built it for me, and then the front axle got broke, and that was the body I was going to use for that drag car I built, which I won the competition for in '96, I think it was. But yeah, I think we'll have to look at that one in future. But yeah, just another version of the couple more versions of the flip nose Ford and the Corvette. But you know, I think and these were the era of MPC which I remember the most. You know, used to have catalogues of AMT, like, and you'd always see these, and that was one of my main reference material for many years, is looking through them catalogues, and these were completely unobtainable. There was nothing like with the internet resource we have today, you know. So these were quite rare kits, and even by the early 90s, these were like holy grail kits. Just loved the box art on them, to be quite fair, and it's got a couple of the 71 Mustangs, the 69 Charger 500, Olds 442, and these are really nice kits. The 70 Pontiac, again, they get slated because they got that Pontiac platform that everybody whinges about, but in all fairness, there's a lot worse kits out there, and I think it's just people, sometimes I just think people buy them Pontiacs just to moan about them and then put a post on Facebook. That's just my own personal opinion. And Barracuda, my brother used to have one of them, so when I bought one, you know, kept hold of it, to be quite honest. I think that's mint in box. And some of my all-time favourite kits, the 71 Roadrunner with the incorrect front end on it, you know. But you know, we're getting some of the slightly older MPC stuff, you know. That's sort of mid-80s, I would have said, but I think that's an original 73 annual, and a couple of Camaros. Did buy one of them to build as the what's that red and white drag car?
rear Morrison or something. I was going to do one of them out of them. I've got a couple of them. I think I've just put a duplicate on eBay at the moment. But yeah, the Charge, you know, I think that's the last one I've got. And a couple of the 73 Cougars. I know Adam at Sodat Model Cars is after a roof for one of these, and I think he wants the back portion as well of the trunk lids. If anybody in the States has one, you know, a rough body you can have, just drop him a message and what have you. But then the 72 GTO kit, yeah, another one which is hated. Obviously, same Pontiac platform, but you know, you can make nice kits out of them. So that's all I'll say on that matter. You know, a couple of these, you know, like stuff which I'm not too fussed about, but you know, they fill a gap on the shelf for now and what have you. And a couple of the old Datsun pickups, different versions. The old Humber Jeep and a couple of the original 76 Caprices, which is, you know, it's not the best styling car, to be quite fair. It's kind of put me off building one of them. You just don't know how to improve upon that look, do you? Because it's quite a gopping looking ugly car. But you know, there's something you can do with them, and I'm sure they'll build into a nice kit and what have you. But you know, we've got the original 77 Dodge Monaco, got obviously turned into the Force 440 kit, which was then retooled into the 4-door we see churned out a million times nowadays. And original 75 Roadrunner, you know, before they changed the front end to the Monaco and what have you. And it's another flip nose vet, and obviously did an unboxing on that one the other week. And the old Diora, you know, these are pretty much run of the mill, and an old Duke's Hazard. Yeah, I think that's the first of the retool from the Force 440 kits under the Airfix brand at the time and what have you. A couple of nice old Pacers. I've always liked the Pacers. I've kept hold of them. The original 60 vet, obviously round twos, bought that box out again, and same with the original 69 Barracuda, bought that box out again, and same with the Jeep, but never reissued that one, so that's quite a nice one to have. I think that's completely mint, except it's missing the wheels. Got to find some wheels, which I think I do have somewhere, so we'll just pop them in there and make a complete kit out of that. Slightly later version of or it might have been the earlier version of the, I think it would have been later than the American Graffiti kit, but it could have been the first issue. But they obviously just used that to make the graffiti kit out of, or if there was an earlier issue, can't really think on that one. But you know, just a nice 32 Ford sedan delivery. Not massive on hot rods, and you won't see many in collection, just because when I build them they always break. You know, they're so delicate to store, and unless you're displaying them in a cabinet, then they just break, like I said. And just a few more of your Lindbergh kits, the old IMC Little Red Wagon, and bought that one for another Gone in 6 Seconds build. And just I think it's a bit of a weird tooling was that 40 Ford. There's just something about it made it really toyish for me, but you build them up, it's pretty much the same as the AMC kit. But yeah, I don't know what it was about that kit, I wasn't really overly fussed on it, but do like the 64 GTOs, you know, I've got a couple of them. Probably end up poaching the hood off one of them because I've got an original Tempest convertible I want to restore one day, and that hood's been sanded down beyond repair. So, and then I think that's one that Sean quite likes, the old Little Deuce, and Bit of an old 71 Cougar. I think I've shown that in one of the videos before, not an unboxing, but just a quick look at it. But it's weird, fogged body and what have you. But the Revel VW and another one of them Limburger, I think it was under testers at the time. But yeah, the 72 Challenger. You know, we've done a video on the 57 Ford before and the history on that, so check back through the channel videos to have a look at them. But yeah, I've got a couple of the flat box 62 Revel stuff and what have you, and yeah, I think I've got one of them on, as a builder as well. They weren't as good as the Joanne stuff, to be quite fair. So, the Fury looks a little bit squinty-eyed on the front, and I've got a builder of the Revel as well. Once you can see what we see in the next video. But yeah, we got I think these were 68 tools, 68 releases for the 67 lineup. Obviously, MPC put them out in their boxes in 67, and then tooling got used by Airfix. So yeah, we've got the Mustang, the Dodge, and a couple of the Pontiacs, and I think I need to do an unboxing one of them, because I think that'll kind of help with people about the origins and what they were actually meant for. They were meant for kids, these things. But yeah, it's just a bit of the side box out on that. But you know, I'll just have a quick look around here. We've done an unboxing on the 68 Pontiac, the original 57 Chevy with all the extra nice pieces, and the original Trophy Series 55 Nomad, which again round two have just really, I think that's the latest release, which they bought out in that box. But a little bit disappointed that they didn't retool the roof for the El Camino back to how it was. I think they changed it because it's a full solid roof on this, whereas after I think even by the second Trophy Series, where there's a red car on the box and on the side art it was kind of writing, and you had a little picture of the bronze car. But yeah, I think even for that one they'd updated the way you can put the El Camino roof on, which means you have to chop it halfway through. But I think that was probably because on the original you had to cut it really close to the windshield frame, and probably a bit difficult for kids at the time. But then we got you know, a couple of, well, 3 of the original 50 Fords and 3 of the original 57 kits, and again 3 of the original 57 Fords as well, you know, all of which lost the majority of the parts, you know, in later years and what have you. So, but yeah, I mean, just going a bit lower, obviously just done an unboxing on that one. Yeah, it took me a while to get a hold of one of them. Again, sold quite a few in between, or not quite a few, I think I've had 2 or 3 before, and I've always sold them, but managed to get a hold of that one, so that's staying in collection now. I'm trying to keep as much of this old stuff as possible, and you know, they've got the original Interceptor and the original Fire Chief. These are the slightly narrower boxes, and original 69 Torino with the extra custom bits which got lost in later issues, and original 69 El Camino, which a recent purchase again, and a couple of the Fire Chief, Crew Chief, original Blazers, and Silhouette, which came in moulded in metallic blue, and quite a rare kit, the 40 double kit, and 32 Ford. Yeah, you get a bit of a better look at the box art on the top there, but then a 67 Galaxy, another one which I think is one of many people's holy grail kits and what have you. So, but a nice little thing that is, you know. It's, I think that's a builder, so we'll get that restored at some point. Now these shelves, if anybody's wondering, these are the best storage solution I could find. For people in UK, these are from JYSK, and I think when I bought them they were 30 quid each, which was really good value. So I bought 8 of them. The only thing, if you're buying from Jisk and you're getting deliveries, don't expect them in a couple of weeks, like they say. You know, expect them in 8 weeks, and you know, be prepared to have a lot of arguments with them with customer service. Be prepared to listen to them lie to your face quite a lot, but you know, they turned up in the end. And to be quite honest with you, you know, after 6 weeks I said I wanted my money back, so they gave me my money back. Order was cancelled. 2 weeks later they turned up, just dropped off outside my front door. So I think that was an order of 5, so I got 3 from the shop and they dropped off 5. So that's just how incompetent they are, to be quite honest with you. But really nice shelves. So but yeah, they do the trick. The only thing with them is that they're great for fitting far across on the older style boxes, which were slightly narrower. But anything sort of post 88, 87, 88, when they started making the boxes a little bit wider, you know, you can only fit 3 in across and you have a space at the end. So they aren't quite wide enough for a full run of sort of modern box kits, but you know, they have their uses. And you know, I rung up Jisk after that, and I said, you have delivered them, and I ended up getting them for our price, and you know, I could have just fucking said nothing, like, but yeah, I just got the Orange Blossom. That was a one which I wanted for a long time, and the original 25C again, you know, both the example of these, you know, as soon as round 2 re-releases them, you know, it drops the value, but I 100% want them to keep doing that, if you know, because if you know, if they re-release more old stuff which isn't readily available to us, then I'd rather be able to buy 2 or 3 of the same kit for the same price as you'd pay for one for a vintage kit. So old Bobby Allison Malibu, so tempted to make that into a street version of a stock car. You know, I know Luke C likes to do that kind of thing. I'm really tempted to do that with that one, but you know, it's quite a nice old kit, and I think it's pretty much complete unstarted, so I don't really, not too sure on that one, but kept it for a long time anyway, and had a couple of the red alerts in my time, and this is the last one remaining. I think it's mint in box, set from a broken pillar. I think the pillar's in the box, that'll be an easy fix, but quite a sought after kit. Recently sold one in the box, builder in the box with all the extra parts, and couldn't get anything for it over here. That just ended up going over to the States in the end. So but yeah, that's the old Fire Iron sort of 27T. So it's 2-in-1 kit, that, like, you can build it stock or hot rod, but same with the Fire Chief one. And I've just kept these ones just because they are a little bit unusual. I mean, these ones here I've just kept because in all fairness, they're either started on or I think one of them's built up, so, and you don't get anything for them, so you know, chance I'll sell something like that, and then there'll come a need to buy another one, and then I'll have to pay like 30-40 quid for one, so, which ain't going to happen. So, but yeah, we just got the original IMC little red wagon, the IMC Beetle, which Union reissued in the 80s, I think mid 80s. They brought out that nice box art, the flat box one, and just one of the 70s issue 55 Nomads and Countdown series Corvettes and a couple of the Foxy Vets. You know, they have got quite a nice rear end on them and come with the most accurate wheels for the General Lee. If you're looking for accurate wheels for the General Lee, you know, look in the Eclavets or one of these kits which you can get for absolutely next to nothing. Much more superior than what they give you in that old MPC Dodge Charger kit. But yeah, just we've kind of seen all this kind of stuff before, you know. But these were kind of kits from my era as well. That again, by the time I could afford this kind of stuff, these were absolutely out of circulation. Couldn't find them anywhere, and they were deemed as vintage kits even a couple of years after. So, but times have changed obviously, and now they're just running the mill like everything else. But yeah, I got the Saska Ford, a couple of the Edroth hot rods. Bought and sold many of these, but I've kept the hot rod versions just because, again, it was just my dad had them as a kid. So, you know, I bought these in the intention of eventually building one of them one day, like, but when that'll be, I don't know. But yeah, Midnight Cowboy, that was quite a rare kit for some time. I don't know how sought after they are nowadays, like, but they were quite expensive back in the day. But yeah, the original Gangbusters Lincoln, a couple of MPC pickups, and yeah, kind of run-of-the-mill stuff, more GTOs, more Nomads. Never liked styling on that one, but again, Adamant Sodak shows you can build nice kits out of them. Bought that really only to do a 40 Ford Woody conversion, but there's a lot of work in this rear fender area, so I think if I ever did do a 40 Ford Woody, you'd probably have to scratch build the sides as well. It'd probably be easier than reworking all that, to be quite fair. But yeah, just another monogram kit. We've got a couple more stock cars. Like I say, they'll only fit 3 of the wider boxes on these shelves, so you end up filling them with either narrow box kits or just stacking them up on the side. But you know, if I do try and get as much round 2 stuff as I can, you know, I do like what they're doing with the boxes. Always seem to pick the nicest box arts throughout its life for the re-releases, and the box is so solid on these. They're great, like, and but yeah, just usual stuff. You know, we've seen all this kind of stuff, and that's a nice one. That, yeah, I do fancy building one of them one day, to be quite honest. And you know, as you can see, I've got quite a thing for the Interceptors. Same again with the 70 Impalas, and then I've got so many of these that I don't need anymore. But I just bought one of them just because it has the retooled baseline wheels in it. So, and another one that repops a million times, but a great kit. So I think that's the Buyer's Choice Mid-90s issue for Galaxy, and a couple of the early MPC Corvettes, and just got a couple of the original issue 36 Fords, and the original issue 53 Studebaker. And that one's got a really nice roof chop on it. And when I say roof chop, it's not used in the kit part, it's chop the roof using the original roof, because that kit part just makes it's just too flat. It has no shape, so it's you know, spent a lot of time on chopping the roof and making that chopped roof look 100%. So I wouldn't mind getting back on that one day and yeah, your Grand Prix, and I think that was the first time we'd seen the 62 Electra since its original annual issue. I think that's a mid-90s issue, and I think that's your Model King version of the 70 Buick, which round two's just brought out again, and again one of my all-time favourite kits and what have you. But the wagons, and got another the wider box round two issue of the 63 Galaxy and the 71 Thunderbird. It's nice to see that box art come out. I think that was like mid-thousands or something when they re-released that, but again, that was the first time they brought that out since the original issue 71, I think. And probably one of the nicer issues of the 65 Chevelle, just because it had the camper. I think the one they're bringing out soon, or just bought out recently, might have had the camper in it, but yeah, that's another round two issue. But I think these are like mid-90s buyer's choice issues or something, and of course we got a couple of the 65 Galaxies, got the other Galaxy box on the near the bench, like, because we're building that kit. But and then another issue of the 65 Lincoln, and again, this is why I like what round two are doing. I mean, you would have had to pay a lot of money for one of them boxes a long time ago, but you know, with round two releasing these nice old box arts, we don't have to do that. And same with the 66 Mercury, another kit I've really got to get onto. And the round two release of the 66 Galaxy. Now that is an original issue 59 El Camino from the early 60s, and got a couple of the buyer's choice mid-90s 64R tops and what have you, and I think pretty much seen all that. So I'm really sorry guys, this is going to be a really long video. I'm trying to work through it the best I can, like, but it's just too long. Got too much stuff, like, but it's pointless doing the video if you're not going to show everything. But yeah, we've just got another Jan kit there which wouldn't fit on the other shelf, and like I say, they're good gap fillers for these shelves. Original 58 Impala, again reissued by round two in that. Oh, did they reissue in that box? I can't even think. Maybe not. I don't know. Can't remember. No, I think that's the original Rat Packer. Other reason I actually kept that is because it's somebody started doing reverting the wheelbase back to standard, so I've just kept it for that reason more than anything else. And that's the round two version of the original MPC one we just saw a few moments ago, and really nice kit, them ones. Ugly as hell, the front end on them. I don't know what they were thinking, but it just puts me off building them for now, because I'm trying to think of what you can do to soften up that front end. But yeah, styling just wasn't quite there for me on the 70 year, I'm afraid. But quite an overlooked kit, the Fireball 500. You know, buy one of them kits and you get a trailer with it. So you know, the original 60s trailers. It's find one of them cheap, and I don't think it really shows the trailer on the box. But yeah, if you find one of them cheap, buy it, because you're gonna get a nice trailer out of it as well. And I think that's the 90s buyer's choice issue of the Countdown series Riviera, 69 Riviera, and round two re-release of the double kit, Model T double kit. And most of these are pretty much round two re-releases. And yeah, that's the 65 Falcon we were talking about, which got modified to the altered wheelbase. And I think the Model King version is quite a rare kit, to be quite fair. We really don't see many of these about in the Wild Child box art. But yeah, it's just really nice box art all the way through. I don't think one side of the box is the same, like. And you know, if you got one of them Mobius pickups, you know, that wouldn't be a bad idea for you to to build something like that, like if you get a set of decals for this one. But yeah, really nice kit. I'm not massive into the altered wheelbase, but I've got a few, like, just because, you know, we all think we're going to build everything one day, and then we've got the Model King Cougar funny car, and the Round 2 Cougar funny car, and the old Malco Gasser. You know, I really want to build one of them one of these days. Sorry. And the Multi Maverick, you know, you get two options for your front fenders. I think on this one you can have the fenders sat further, the wheel arches sat further forward, and the nice kit. I bought that one just because it's the body car issue. Like I say, I do have a couple of the old wheelbase. The 66 Barracuda, that one, and then the Challenger funny car, and another Joanne Cadillac I couldn't fit on that other shelf, and I think that's the 90s Buyer's Choice issue of the original. And then you got the original 49 Merc narrow box kit. All Batmobile. This is a lovely box. I always thought this was, you know, if you want box art on a kit, you take the box lid off here, and it's every single piece of cardboard has some form of art on it. I thought that was just a really nice one, and that's why I've kept that issue. I've had a couple of the other issues and just moved them on, but yeah, I have kept that one because, yeah, I do want to build one day, so I might as well keep that one handy. And they just got another one of the Joanne Oldsmobiles and Round 2 issues of the Corvettes, and the Model King issue of the 57 Chevy, the old 67 Charger, and one of the modified stockers. I actually bought that to put that to original, put the wheel arches from the Revel kit, which the 65 Revel kit in there, and build like an old 60s annual style kit out of that. But you know, I'll probably never get round to it, and I think it was just because that Revel issue one, I don't think the body was 100% on that one at all, like, to be quite fair. And lovely kit still, but there was just something about it. But yeah, we've got a couple of the funny cars. I think one of them's unbuilt. Second one is a bit of a failed video, unfortunately. I was building a 69 GTO at the same time as the 68, just to show you could sort of make one of these stock if you use some extra bits and what have you. But I lost a load of footage and finished the kit, like, and but there was a bit of a paint fault. Nobody would have seen it in a million years, but it bothered me, so I then ended up stripping it, and then it's back in base coat now. So I'll probably show that kit when I get it finished off again, or I think I've got a couple of clips left which didn't get deleted by accident, so I'll see if I can work in a couple of videos out of that and just get that kit finished off. But I've kept one of the Tempest Funny Farmers Pontiac Tempest alt wheelbase kit. The Model King one's quite hard to come by. It's probably the worst box art. I mean, some of the Model King box art was terrible, some of them was pretty nice, but yeah, I was never a fan of the way they showed that kit on this box, so I don't think they did it any justice whatsoever. We've just got a couple of stock cars, you know. I just buy these again just for the bodies, convert into 4-door. Probably I think I've got 3 bodies where I've sold the rest of the kit. I just take the bodies out and then sell the rest of the kit as parts for anybody who wants the chassis. But yeah, a couple of the old Torino stock cars. I think these were potentially what shared the tooling with the Joanne one. I'll probably have to do a comparison because I'm not even 100% on them. But and then the Pepsi Chevelle, you know, that was re-released by Round 2 at some point, and they want they want out long at all, so I think even those are quite rare nowadays. And I think they've released it in another version recently or something, but I think that's my last remaining Polar Light stock car. Ended up selling the rest of them off, but I did want to keep one, and I thought I'd keep the Buddy Baker one just because that was probably my favourite one of the Chargers, and just another one of them American graffiti dragsters, and kept that one just because it comes with a nice clear chassis and a clear body and what have you, and I thought that'd be a nice kit to build one day. And one of my cats is just making an entrance there. Nice, thank you for showing us that, really nice. But yeah, we're just going to move her tail out of the way a little bit. Yeah, I don't think she's going to leave us alone, but yeah, you just moan. But yeah, as I was saying, the reason I bought these is not because I particularly like display case trailer, but they have probably the best wheels for an early 70s Pontiac Tempest, something that looks like it, which is to scale. So, and I've got a couple of conversions which started years ago, and that's the reason why I've just kept them two kits, just so I can have a set of wheels for those conversions, and then I'll probably just replace the wheels and get rid of the kit, sell them with steel wheels or something. But yeah, another one of the 72 Challengers. You know, I do pick them up when they come my way, to be quite fair. I think they're the old Parma kit basically, then, where, like I said, they did start doing a few one-piece bodies. I think the 72 Challenger and the Mustang and the Corvette. I think they were all re-released by Limburg at some point. But yeah, there's just a couple of, to be honest, they're just there as gap fillers. Not worth anything, not worth me selling. So they'll just stay there, maybe until I get an idea for them. But yeah, well, again, we've just got more bits and pieces here, and yeah, just modern stuff, to be quite fair, and more modern stuff. To be honest, I only bought that because it was a 4-door. I have no idea. I don't watch really anything series wise up to date. In fact, I've just started watching a Airline or something from the 90s or something on YouTube. That's how far behind times I am. So, but yeah, again, like I said, I think if I've got a Dukes of Hazzard Charger, it probably means that it's been started on or something, which generally stops me selling them. I think one of them I just pieced together a full kit, and I think it's got the yellow body from the mid-80s MPC kit in it, but I just bought that one for a conversion into a satellite again. That's what most of these kits say, and I don't generally build them as they are, but you know, when there's an option in your head to modify them and make them into a 4-door satellite or something a little bit more unique, that's what I get these kind of things from. And old Joe Goon cars, I remember you used to be able to pick them up in Toys R Us for £3 a pop back in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, they're having a massive clear out, so these ended up all over the UK, absolutely flooded the UK with these things. And like I say, you could just get them for absolutely next to nothing. But yeah, with again, as you can see, kit from my childhood. Had one of these. These are probably my era of favourite box art, just because they remind me of my childhood so much. And I think this was one of the ones I actually got when it was new. So wasn't allowed to build it because it was too advanced for me, and then a couple of years later I just ruined it anyway. So obviously I bought enough to make up for that one. But yeah, just some Corvettes and that's a repop of the original Hubley kit. Just another hot rod, but yeah, these Chevelles were a holy grail of mine for a really long time. Like, just again, I think it was like, well, I don't know if this is like an 87 issue or 86 issue or something. It was around that time, between 85 and 87, and we had one and the body got broken, and then by early 90s that kit had gone and you couldn't get them anywhere. You couldn't get them anywhere. So these were really expensive at one point, and so every now and again when they pop up, I'll think of having a dabble on them. But I've actually built one as the box art as well. Again with the 65 El Caminos. I wasn't overly fussed on the way they did that on this box art, but we just got a 33 Ford and a couple of the Galaxies and a couple of the Rivieras and a Corvette and one of the Novas and what have you. But I mean, I think I've probably got 3 or 4 of them in that storage area I've got, like. But yeah, I just keep one on the shelf because I wouldn't mind rebuilding one of them again. Another one I had as a kid, like. So like I say, this is going to be an extremely long video. I really like cutting myself off short. I went with when I'm turning this camera off there, but this is the last bit, honestly, lads. Like I said, I just don't know how to make this video any shorter, to be quite fair. It's just impossible. But we'll have a quick look around here. I mean, this is we kind of overflow where for the flat boxes, the awkward boxes, the slightly bigger boxes and stuff like that, where they won't fit on them shelves down the. And as you can see, I'm at capacity down there anyway. So, but the couple of important kit. These were definitely of my childhood. The customizing series, and bought and sold a million of them. But I've always kept one of each, just to. Yeah, because I wouldn't mind building them like the box art. Even the box art's a bit quirky on these, but yeah, I think the thing I liked about them was they had quite a few nice versions on the side of the box art, and even though they made them sort of fit in with the late 80s, 90s styling, they were still a nice kit and multi-option kit. And I've shown that on the channel before, not an unboxing, but I think as a recent purchase summit. And then got another one of the Grand Prix. Reason I bought this one was because it had the boat in, which is really hard to find over here. I think it's the same boat as they finally reissued in the. Apologies about that plane, but now I can do about that. But I think they've reissued that in the Aqua Rod kit. We just have to wait for that plane to pass, so to speak. But we've got a few of the round 2 reissues of the vans in various forms, and then again the Prestige series, which was, and the reason why I have so many is just, again, it's just a childhood memory kit, so to speak. And I think I've got all, but I think I always I buy in the Corvairs and the Mercedes all the time, and I always end up selling them just to make a bit of room. But yeah, I think it was just like the first time we've seen a couple of these kits. I think we hadn't seen the 63 Impala, and before this issue, I think this is when AMC knew that it was the annual thing wasn't working anymore. I think MPC carried it on until the late 80s, but they had to start looking in the archives to see what else they can bring out and start selling. So we've not seen the 63 Galaxy since the original issue, and I mean the Bonnevilles, I think, came out a few different times. Obviously, the Corvairs and the Avantis and the Silhouette were churned out a million times, and not sure on I think the Lincoln was again the first time we'd seen that since the 60s. Oh no, saying that they bought it out a few times, didn't they? They had in that was it, I can't remember the like the not I just can't remember. It was a brown car. I think it was called Bird of Paradise or something like that. But yeah, that was just you having to listen to my brain fart for a while, and I don't buy many Revel kits, but there's certain ones which I've kept aside. You know, I do want to build the Sox and Martin Cuda at some point, and kept the 58 to do a American Graffiti 58, but it was I kind of think when I'm building stuff like that, I'd rather use older tools just because it sets the period of the model a little bit more. That's why, you know, when you get newer versions of stuff, and I always tend to go back to the more basic tooling just because it really does set the sort of period for the type of model I build. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of projects in mind for them. Some of them I'm just putting there because, you know, they're being started, like a couple of Corvettes, stuff like that. You wouldn't usually keep at all, but they're just being started on a bit. So, like I say, we just keep them up there because they fill a spot for now. But yeah, we just got a few more monogram stuff, you know. That's one of the few kits which I've never sorted through just because I bought it, and I was really, really disappointed that seller didn't mention that the roof was all crushed in. And by the time I'd opened the box, actually, you know, I was really busy at work at the time, and it was probably 4 weeks after it actually arrived, so there's nothing I could do about it, like. But the box was undamaged. It was clearly damaged kit from when it was sold, like. But yeah, I just got the original little T, and that's a builder. Got the builder in the drawer where I put all the rest of that collection I bought. But and then that was a very recent purchase, the Predictor. That's the other half of the 64 Riviera build I'm going to do. I'm just going to do like a scaled up version of the dinky combo they did with the Riviera towing the boat, and a couple of Tamiya ones and what have you. And some of I mean, I bought these recently to sort of build a diorama, but the base is really small, to be quite honest with you. And you know, because I build a lot of full size, it'd be alright if you want to put a hot rod in it or something like that. But anything full size, I think for 1/25th scale, it's a really small base, to be quite fair. So just decided to get rid of them, to be quite honest with you. Like I said, there's nothing much on these shells which I'm getting rid of, but if I've just bought it and then it's gone straight onto auction, they might hang around in here because it just saves me going to storage. But yeah, I've probably got 20 boxes like that of parts to still sort through, and we've just got some of the flat, you know, the annoying artwork series AMT kits, but I've kept that one because it has a couple of nicer sets of wheels and nice sets of tyres. So if you want a Malco kit, get this issue. Definitely the best issue of the 33 Willys you can probably get out there, to be quite honest with you, above any of the others. They're just the 73 Mustangs, which I got set aside, and another Impala and another El Camino and a couple of the Man from Uncle cars, and the old Asagawa kits, you know, all copies really of other promos or whatever. I don't know the story behind it, but there were definite rip-offs on some of the Joanne bodies and AMT bodies anyway. So yeah, the Jaguars, which seem to sell really well, to be quite honest with you. Bought two in recently. unbuilt, and the other two beneath it are builders, which I've kept for myself to eventually do one day. And a couple of the 61 Galaxies, and that Tamiya Beetle is a really beautiful kit, to be quite honest with you. That's you know, if you want to build a Beetle kit, get that kit, because they build up in such nice little models. And yeah, just your awful Revel boxes down there, you know. There's some interesting, like that's a 143rd scale Mako cab over, I think that one, and just I think that's a builder one. That's the reason why I've still got that one. I do try and keep a couple of them just for eventual projects, but you know, I bought them years ago, these Renoir ones, and I nearly sold them, and then Mathew at Model Car Videos, he found a couple, like the Corvette and something else in that thrift store or something, and showed a great deal of interest, and I've always had these ones set aside. Yeah, I need to drop him an email, because I've set them aside for him, and that's the reason why I haven't sold them. I think they're all pretty much unstarted, but I think two of them are missing the display cases. That's completely mint, but it's missing one of the headlamp bezels, so I just threw in a builder as well, because it's got a headlamp bezel that could complete that one. But I think, yeah, except from the display cases, you know, I think they're pretty complete. But yeah, I've just kept them aside, you know. They aren't worth anything, to be quite honest with you, I don't think. But what else we got? Just some, like I say, I'm trying to do my best to speed this up, because it's just going to be ridiculously long, this video. But yeah, we've just got some old vintage, I think that's the Fleetwood, and that's the town car. You know, I've kept them because I do want to build one of them. And Hello Hispano Zuza, or however you say it, that is an absolutely stunning kit, cheap as chips, and it's value for money. That kit, definitely get one if you're into old stuff. And you know, that's kept that one just because it's the issue without the Continental kit, and I wouldn't mind building a pace car, but I didn't like the Continental kit, which came in a lot of the other issues. And 120th Corvette, and this is another one which is off to Gary, just the box. I think I showed this on another video briefly, but not an unboxing. The reason being is that I bought this kit as a builder, and I was gonna use the roof. Hey up, here she comes again. I was gonna use the roof as yeah, I'm just gonna let her do her thing, to be quite honest with you. So if you got cats, Gary, there might be a bit of interest from your cats after this. But yeah, I bought it as a builder to I think it's complete kit and everything. It's just the window pillars were broken, and at the time I wanted to make a 68 Ford Custom 4-door. I'd have gone in 6 seconds car, but now I found somebody in the Ukraine who does a really nice 3D printed body, and I remember Gary saying that he's got a completely unbuilt mint kit but no box. Said to him months ago that we're going to get that to him, and because I mean, that I ain't too bothered about the box on these ones. You know, I've got the kit and I'll do something with it. And sorry, just had to save the box there from the cat. Dusty. And yeah, luckily we didn't damage it then, Gary, but they are very prone to crushing them boxes, Gary, so don't be shoving that one at the bottom of your closet, because it just won't last 5 minutes. Then yeah, we just got the Union kits, and The old IMC Beetle there they did with it's got a really nice box art, that one, and just more the Hasegawa kits, but the later issues which they bought out, like so. More Joanne classic cars, and I think I've got one monogram one left, and the only reason I've kept that is just because it's got the nicer body than the convertible. I never wasn't really a massive fan on the convertible and what have you, but yeah, I was just having a quick look at that Galaxy box, Gary, making sure that Cat hadn't damaged that for you. But yeah, I don't think we really got much else. Just down here is all my magazines. I think they're pretty much all model car science and what have you, and scale autos. I sold a lot of scale autos, to be honest, and I got a lot of old hot rod kits and rod and custom magazines. And this is the shelf, and this is all I've got, which still needs sorting through. You know, an old warps Oldsmobile I bought recently. I mean, I knew the body was terribly warps and paid too much for it, but it has good bumpers, good wheels on it, and I thought if I can find a decent body, then yeah, I've got the lion's share of the kit there, like so. And the two which Sean kindly sent, you know, I've got his shop card up there, waiting to find somewhere to put shop cards and what have you. But you know, the reason I've not done anything with them is because they'll be on a channel build, and I don't really need to bag them up for anything. So, but we've got a couple of old. I think that's an old Joanne Cadillac, really nice kit, that one. And then I've got these boxes of, yeah, they're just full of old 60s stuff, mainly sort of 60s monogram stuff, but you know, there's some pyro hot rods in there and what have you, so I need to find time to sort that out. But that'll be like when I've got 2 or 3 hours spare, and I can split them what I don't want into lots, and just take a few little bits and pieces out that I want. But yeah, I think other than that, I think yeah, I just got the big box stuff. Nothing of real interest. You know, that Porsche, I think that's potentially gonna get built for that group build. Still not 100% on it, but the more I look at it, the more ideas I'm getting on it. I think I'll do something with that. But yeah, I just got some other bits and pieces, some planes and what have you, just a big bulky stuff that I need to keep out of the way, and old diamond in the rough stuff. But yeah, I don't think there's really anything of interest up there, like so. Yeah, I think like I say, we'll end up turning this room. It's quite a nice bright room, as you can see. You know, I think we'll end up turning this into the hobby room one day, and yeah, I'll have to leave the little, that's the other little cat there, like, well, I've got 3 in all together, but yeah, that's a little terror who usually sits next to me at the bench most of the time. But yeah, I think there's no need to gas on anymore. I'm really sorry how long this video has been, but again, another reason why I didn't want too sure about doing this style video, because there's just so much, and you know, I don't want to move too fastly, and I want to talk you through some of it. But yeah, I think from that point, you know, we'll end up having a look at all these in the next video, and you know, in detail. You know, there's quite a few nice old rare kits and amongst some newer stuff and what have you. But yeah, we'll pick it up in the next video. So if you've actually watched all this, then you know, good on you. Probably would have taken you about 2 or 3 sit downs to get through it all, but yeah, we're at the end now, and I'm just going to cut it off. So whatever you're doing for the rest of the day, hope you enjoy yourself, and we will see you in a couple of days where we'll have a look at all this stuff. Okay, we'll see you in the next video.